This video is going to go a little bit deeper into the if statement within VBA. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new program. We'll just call it more if statements. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a variable. This one's going to be a string. I'm just going to ask for a username, and then I'm going to get it from the user. Now, depending on what the user enters as their name, I'm going to do a series of things. First of all, if username is equal to, we'll just say Rob, then I want it to do a bunch of stuff. Else, and then I can say else if. Before, when we used else, it was only in the case of if it's one thing, then if it's not, then do this. With else if, we can check a series of things. So if it's Roger, then I want to do whatever I put there. And if it's none of the above names, then I want to do whatever's going to be there, and then I'll put the end of my statement. So, for example, if it's Rob, then we could do whatever processing you want. I'm just going to put a message box in here, and tell them your name is Rob. Of course, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but this is just to show that how the nested if statement works. Notice I'm keeping everything indented properly. And then down here, your name is not on the list. It is, we'll concatenate the name on there. So, if I run through this, the user enters their name as Rob, then it goes through, does whatever's in Rob, and it drops down here to the end of the if statement and moves on to whatever's next. If we run through, we'll pick one that's further down the list. Your name is Isaac. Notice it skipped Rob, skipped Roger. That's Isaac. It found what it wanted, and it's going to skip to the end. Now finally, if we run this, now the username is Julie, so it's not going to be Rob, it's not going to be Roger, it's not going to be Isaac, it's not going to be Peter, and it hits the else and does whatever's in there. And we can do that there. One additional thing here about the if statement that I'd like to point out is that we can put multiple criteria here. I'm going to add another variable. We'll put a user age. So we're going to ask them what is their name and what is their age. And here, I'm going to say, and user age is greater than 40. Then I'm going to do that. So if I get, the person enters their name as Rob, but their age is less than or equal to 40, it's going to skip this, and we'll prove that out. So the name is Rob, the age is 30, so now we've got an age of 30, name is Rob, and so the username is Rob, and the age is greater than, so this is true that the username is Rob, but the age is not greater than 40, so it's going to skip that, and it's going to come all the way down here to the else. And so what happens here is the AND requires both to be true. Now if I wanted to put two names here, for example, if I wanted to say or username is equal to Jonathan, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in parentheses, and what that's going to do, that's going to say, okay, if either one of these is true and this is true. So as we go through, what is your name? We'll go Jonathan, and we'll ask for the age, and we'll say the age is 45. So now, is the name this or this? Yes, it is. It's Jonathan, and the age is greater than 40. So obviously this message box doesn't make sense because it's coming back and saying your name is Rob. But it shows the point that, first of all, the first point I want to make is that if you use your username and you want to check if it's one value or another, you have to include the full expression. A lot of people make the mistake of doing this. They say if username equal Rob or Jonathan. Well, what that does is it's checking if this is true or if just this is true, and it basically it's saying is Jonathan Jonathan, which is always going to come out to be true. If I wanted, we'll go ahead and put that back on, and if I wanted to say if your name was this and this, this or this, or your age was 40, I could go ahead and do that, or your age was greater than 40, I could go ahead and do this. So we'll, oops, sorry about that. So we've got a username of blank, and the age is equal to 40. It's not greater than 40. So none of these is going to happen. Now this time as I go through, we'll put a name in there. Actually, we'll put Rob there. So the name is Rob. And the age we'll put at 29. So now it's either this or this. The name is Rob, so that matches up. And the age is less than 40, but because this is true, only one of them has to be true. Either this statement has to be true or this statement has to be true. So now it's going to go in and it's going to work properly. Now if I were to run this again, we'll put a different person in there, and we'll put their age higher. So we've got a name is Wendy, age is greater than 40, it's 50. So what we're going to see is even though this is false, this is true, so it's going to go into that one there.